First contact and ultimatum. The message arrived on a clear autumn morning, while Director Samira Chen was reviewing satellite data at Global Defense Headquarters. Every screen in the facility suddenly flickered, then displayed the same strange patterns, shifting geometric symbols that seemed to rearrange themselves deliberately. Director, we're getting reports of the same transmission worldwide. Her assistant Julian called from the doorway. It's on every digital network simultaneously. Chen was already striding toward the central command room, her coffee forgotten. The corridors buzzed with controlled urgency as analysts and officers rushed between stations. When she reached the command center, she found Admiral Wei already there, his usually stoic expression betraying concern. It's happening on every continent, Wei said without preamble. The pattern is transforming into multiple languages simultaneously. On the massive central display, the alien symbols were indeed reorganizing themselves into recognizable text. The message appeared in perfect English, alongside dozens of other Earth languages. Greetings, inhabitants of Sol 3. We are the Galactic Coalition, governing authority of this stellar sector. Your civilization has reached sufficient technological advancement to warrant formal diplomatic relations. We wish to welcome you to the greater galactic community. In the hours that followed, more messages arrived. The Coalition requested an official Earth response within 48 hours and proposed sending representatives to meet Earth's leaders just beyond Luna orbit. Behind closed doors, Earth's defense analysts worked frantically to track the source of the transmission. We've located them, Lieutenant Kea Jackson reported during the emergency briefing. 7 vessels positioned throughout the solar system. Their cloaking technology is impressive, but our quantum detection grid caught them. They don't know we can see them, Admiral Wei noted, studying the ship positions on the holographic display. No, Chen confirmed, and I recommend we keep it that way. Earth's response was carefully crafted, diplomatic, gracious, and deliberately naive. They welcomed the Coalition's greeting with appropriate wonder and gratitude, playing the role of an emerging civilization eager to join the galactic community. 3 days later, the Coalition's true intentions became clear. Director Chen sat in the United Earth Council chamber with representatives from every major nation. The Coalition's message played on the large screen before them. A tall, elegant alien with iridescent skin, who called himself High Commissioner Velix, spoke with deliberate precision. As new members of the galactic community, Earth must contribute to collective security. We require a security deposit of critical resources. The room remained silent as Velix listed their demands. 300 tons of platinum, 500 tons of rare earth elements, 25 kilograms of antimatter, and biological samples of every major Earth species. Furthermore, Velix continued, Earth must limit its military vessel construction to approved designs. The Coalition will provide appropriate templates suitable for your developmental stage. Secretary General Okafor stood from her position at the center of the council table. And if we decline these terms? She asked, her voice steady. Velix's expression shifted slightly. We wouldn't want Earth to face the unfortunate dangers that unprotected systems often encounter. Space pirates can be quite troublesome. The threat was unmistakable. After the transmission ended, the Council erupted in controlled discussion. Admiral Wei approached the podium with a data tablet. Our intelligence teams have intercepted some interesting transmissions, he announced. The Coalition has done this before. 23 other developing worlds are currently paying similar protection fees. And worlds that refuse? Someone asked. According to our data, Wei continued, they suffer attacks from pirates who use surprisingly advanced Coalition military technology. Secretary General Okafor called for order. We've prepared for first contact scenarios like this. Admiral Wei, what's the status of the Aegis Protocol? Fully operational, Madam Secretary. The system can be activated in under 4 hours. Director Chen watched the reactions around the room. Most world leaders knew about the Aegis Protocol, Earth's hidden defensive system. Those who didn't were being quietly briefed by their aides. "And our true fleet?" Okafor asked. "Disguised as commercial vessels and satellites," Wei replied. "Coalition scans show exactly what we want them to see, a primitive space force barely worth noticing. Our quantum computing division has already broken their primary encryption," Chen added. "We're reading everything they send. The Coalition believes we're an easy target." Okafor took a moment to consider their options. "Director Chen, prepare our official response. Make it apologetic, perhaps even frightened. Request 10 days to gather the resources they've demanded." Chen understood the strategy. Buy time to complete preparations. Earth would give the Coalition an answer, but not the one they expected. Later that evening, Chen sent Earth's official response. "The people of Earth are honored by the Coalition's offer of protection. We humbly request 10 Earth days to gather the required resources. Please understand that collection and processing of such materials will take time for our limited technology." The Coalition's reply came quickly. "Your request is granted. We look forward to a productive relationship." Chen smiled grimly. The Coalition thought they were tightening their grip on another helpless world. Instead, they were walking into humanity's carefully laid trap. Intelligence Officer Ravi Sharma hadn't slept in 2 days, but he couldn't stop now. His team had just decoded the Coalition's private military channels, and what they found made him rush to the emergency command center at 200 hours. "Director Chen needs to see this immediately," he told the guards, who quickly cleared him through. Chen was already there with Admiral Wei reviewing fleet positions. Earth's hidden ships appeared as blue markers on the display, carefully positioned behind asteroids and within planetary shadows. The Coalition's forces showed as red icons, their number growing by the hour. "We've cracked their military-grade quantum encryption," Sharma announced, connecting his tablet to the main screen. "These are their actual battle plans." The display filled with tactical data. The Coalition wasn't just planning to collect resources from Earth. They intended to establish permanent control over the entire solar system. "They're positioning for full occupation," Wei observed, his eyes narrowing. "How did you break their encryption so quickly?" Chen asked. Sharma allowed himself a slight smile. "That's the interesting part. Their most advanced quantum computers are roughly 40 years behind ours. They think unbreakable encryption is still possible." 40 years? Chen asked incredulously. "We've been monitoring their communications for decades through our deep space array," Sharma explained. "All those failed quantum computing projects we publicly announced. They weren't failures. We just kept the successes hidden." Wei studied the tactical display. "How many ships do they have in total?" 32 now, Chen answered. "They're still bringing in more. They want to make sure we can't resist when they reveal their true demands." "And Aegis?" Wei asked. Chen touched a control, and new data appeared. A complex network of satellites and defense platforms became visible, hidden beneath their disguise as commercial satellites and space debris. "Fully operational," she reported. "We can have the entire defense grid online in less than 4 hours. The Coalition's scans show only communication satellites and space junk, exactly what they expect to see." Sharma pulled up another display. "Their ships use an advanced form of plasma shielding. They think it's impenetrable, but our quantum analysis found a weakness. Their shield frequency fluctuates every 3.4 seconds, just enough time to get a shot through." We nodded approvingly. Chen turned to the others. "We have 9 days left before we're supposed to deliver their protection payment. How should we proceed?" "We keep playing weak," we suggested. "Let them bring in more ships. The more forces they commit, the stronger our message will be." "And if they decide to attack early?" Sharma asked. "That's why we have Aegis," Wei answered. "Let them think they're springing a trap on us. The surprise on their faces when they realize who really holds the power will be worth all these years of preparation." As the briefing concluded, Earth's hidden fleet continued its silent deployment. The coalition ships never noticed the advanced sensors mapping their every weakness or the defense platforms tracking their every move. Humanity's trap was almost ready to spring. Humanity's stand and galactic consequences. The coalition representatives gathered in their flagship's grand chamber, eagerly awaiting Earth's submission. High Commissioner Velix stood at the center, surrounded by holographic displays showing the human leaders who would soon hand over their planet's resources. The transmission began right on schedule, but instead of a humble diplomatic officer, they found themselves facing Admiral Wei, Director Chen, and Secretary General Okafor. The humans' expressions weren't fearful, they were resolute. "Honorable coalition members," Okafor began, her voice firm. "We've reviewed your demands carefully. We have an alternative proposal." Velix's smile faltered. "There is nothing to propose." The terms were clear. "Oh yes," Admiral Wei stepped forward. "Very clear, just like the terms you gave to the Centauri colonies, the Proxima systems, and the other 23 worlds currently paying your protection fees." The coalition chamber fell silent. Velix's expression darkened. "You cannot possibly know about those. Just like we can't possibly know about your fleet's positions throughout our system." Director Chen cut in. "Or your plans to establish permanent control over Earth." On cue, a new hologram appeared in the coalition chamber. It showed every hidden coalition ship, their exact positions marked in red. Several coalition members shifted uncomfortably in their seats. "Impossible," Velix whispered. "Your technology isn't advanced enough to break our quantum encryption." "We did that days ago." Sharma's voice came through clearly as he joined the transmission. "Would you like to hear your private messages about exploiting primitive species?" The coalition chamber erupted in shocked murmurs as their supposedly secure communications began playing through their own systems. Conversations about extortion, exploitation, and conquest filled the air. "You've been operating unchecked for too long," Okafor declared. "That ends today." Velix slammed his fist down. "You dare threaten the coalition? Our fleet will." "Do nothing." Wei finished. "Look outside." The coalition's view screens activated automatically. Around every coalition ship, hidden defense platforms emerged from their disguised positions. Earth's real fleet decloaked, revealing vessels far more advanced than the primitive ships the coalition had observed. "Aegis Protocol, activate," Chen commanded. Across the solar system, hundreds of satellites shed their simple disguises, revealing advanced weapon systems. A shimmering energy field began forming around Earth, far more sophisticated than anything the coalition possessed. "While you watched our public spacecraft launches," Chen explained, "our real ships were being built in hidden facilities throughout the asteroid belt. You saw what we wanted you to see." "And now," Okafor continued, "you have a choice. Option 1. Withdraw your forces immediately and end your extortion practices, not just here, but across the galaxy. We've already transmitted proof of your activities to every world in your so-called protection network." "Or Option 2? Velix asked, his voice hoarse. "We demonstrate exactly how outmatched your forces are," Wei answered simply. "Your shield frequency vulnerabilities, your weapons blind spots. We know them all. Care to guess how many of your ships we can disable before you can even raise shields?" The coalition chamber descended into chaos. Several members were already calling for immediate withdrawal. Others demanded explanations for the exposed corruption. "You have 1 hour to decide," Okafor announced, "and to show we're serious." At her signal, Earth's defense platforms fired precisely calculated warning shots. Each beam passed through the tiny gaps in the coalition ship's shield frequencies, stopping just millimeters from their hulls. "Impossible." Velix stumbled backward. "This level of precision is far beyond what you thought we were capable of," Chen finished. 1 hour, coalition members. Choose wisely." As the transmission ended, the coalition's mighty fleet found itself surrounded by a human defense network that had been invisible just moments before. Their greatest weapons were now useless, their tactical advantage gone. In Earth's command center, Chen turned to her colleagues. Think they'll make the right choice? They'd better, Wei answered, watching the coalition ships on the display. For their sake. The hour passed in tense silence. With just minutes remaining, a transmission arrived from the coalition flagship. Velix appeared on screen, flanked by several other members, his earlier arrogance replaced by careful formality. Earth's demonstration of capability has been noted, he began stiffly. The coalition has voted to accept your first option. Our ships will withdraw from your system immediately. All of them, Okafor insisted, including the 5 reinforcements approaching from the Kuiper Belt. Velix's expression betrayed momentary surprise before he recovered. All of them, he confirmed. However, be advised that removing coalition protection leaves your system vulnerable to. We'll take our chances, Wei interrupted. And to be clear, any pirate activity in this system will be considered a direct act of coalition aggression. Furthermore, Chen added, we expect immediate cessation of all protection agreements with other worlds. Our transmission containing evidence of your extortion network has already reached every affected planet. They'll be watching to ensure you comply. Velix's jaw tightened, but he nodded. It will be as you say. The transmission ended, and a moment later, the coalition ships began powering down their weapons systems and preparing to depart. It worked, Sharma said, almost disbelieving. For now, Chen cautioned, this isn't over. News traveled fast across the galaxy. Within days of Earth's confrontation with the coalition, every species under their control had seen the leaked evidence of corruption. The spark of rebellion that humanity lit quickly became a fire. Director Chen stood in Earth's communication center, watching reports flood in from across the galaxy. The main screen showed various alien news broadcasts, all focusing on the same story, how a supposedly primitive planet had outmaneuvered the mighty coalition. The Centauri colonies have stopped their payments, Sharma reported, reviewing the latest intelligence. 5 other systems have already followed their lead. Chen nodded approvingly. And the coalition's response? Nothing coherent yet. They're too busy dealing with internal chaos. Sharma replied, pulling up more data. Half their member species are demanding investigations. The other half are trying to hide their involvement. A new alert flashed on the main screen. An incoming transmission from the Proxima system, one of the worlds that had been paying protection money to the coalition for decades. Put it through, Chen ordered. A blue-skinned humanoid appeared on screen, wearing what appeared to be formal attire. I am First Minister Relek of Proxima IV. Am I addressing the leaders of Earth? I'm Director Samira Chen of Earth's Global Defense. How can we help you, First Minister? Relek bowed slightly. Director Chen, my government wishes to express our profound gratitude. For 30 years, we've lived under coalition exploitation, believing ourselves too weak to resist. You've shown us otherwise. We simply exposed the truth, Chen replied. You did more than that, Relak said earnestly. You demonstrated that technological advantage means nothing without courage and strategy. The coalition's hold is breaking throughout the sector. He paused. Which brings me to the purpose of my transmission. Several former coalition tribute worlds are organizing a meeting to discuss a new interstellar alliance, one based on mutual respect and cooperation rather than extortion. We would be honored if Earth would send representatives. Chen smiled. I believe we would be very interested in such discussions, First Minister. After the transmission ended, Admiral Wei joined Chen at the Central Console. So it begins, he said quietly. Chen nodded. The coalition thought they were dealing with just another primitive species they could bully and exploit. Instead, Wei finished, they accidentally provoked the catalyst for their own downfall. And the beginning of something better, Chen added, looking at the star map now filling the main screen, where dozens of formerly subjugated worlds were lighting up with new diplomatic connections. Humanity had entered the galactic stage, not as victims or conquerors, but as liberators. In the weeks that followed, Coalition authority crumbled across multiple sectors as world after world asserted their independence. The extortion network that had operated unchecked for centuries collapsed in less than a month. And at the center of this galactic transformation stood Earth, a planet that the Coalition had dismissed as just another easy target, never realizing they had awakened humanity's greatest strengths: ingenuity, defiance, and an unwavering commitment to justice that would reshape the stars themselves.